Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren and this is my October wrap up. So for the month of October, I did so good. I'm so proud of myself. I read a total of 11 books and I also surpassed my Goodreads challenge. So I originally had set it for 70 books at the start of the year and I actually surpassed that in August. So I set it to 100 books and I've already gone over it. I'm so happy. I never thought that I would actually read that many books in a year. This is the first time I've ever hit 100 books, so I have to say I'm a little chuffed with myself, to be honest. Alright, so we're gonna just get into these. I did start off reading like Halloween-ish themed books and then like totally just threw that out the window halfway through the month, as I usually do. So I'm just going to give a brief description of what the books were about, what my star ratings were, what my general thoughts were. I'm going to go in order of when I read them. So the ones at the start of the month are going to be a little vague because I have a really bad memory when it comes to books, like character names or like certain things like that. I tend to forget them very easily, but I'm going to do my best and let's just see how it goes. Alright, so the first 3 books that I read were the Mara Dara trilogy by Michelle Hodkin. I actually really enjoyed these ones. So we have The Unbecoming of Mara Dara, The Evolution of Mara Dara, and The Retribution of Mara Dara. I actually really enjoyed these. I gave the first one 5 stars. It definitely wasn't something that I expected from the book. I didn't really think that I would enjoy it as much as I did, just because it is a backlist title and I thought it may not have progressed well through the years, but I definitely really enjoyed it. It was definitely my favorite out of the trilogy. The second and third book actually went in a direction that I didn't expect them to go in, and I think that had it have gone somewhere different, I would have enjoyed them more. I think I rated the middle one 3 stars and then the last one, no, the middle one 4 stars, the last one 3 stars. Because yeah, I just didn't like where it went. I feel like there was a lot of potential and it could have like really blown me away, and it kind of just went downhill from the first book. I did listen to these on audio. I read them within like a week or 5 days or something. It was like insane. I really enjoyed the narrator. The narrator has an excellent English accent for Noah Shaw, and I really did enjoy that. I'm not sure if I'm going to pick up the Noah Shaw trilogy because I haven't heard good things about it. They said that really the first one's like a standout and then everything else just nosedives from there. So I'm still unsure about what I'm going to do with those. So that's my thoughts on those ones. And then the next one I read was Aurora Rising. It was one of the books that I wanted to read before the end of the year, so I'm glad I actually got to it this month. I rated this one 3 stars. I think because I love Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman and I love the Illuminae Files. Gemini is like my favorite book of all time. It's tied with Scythe by Neil Shusterman. But I really had high expectations of this going in, and I think I was just a little let down. I think maybe also the audiobook for this one wasn't for me. I found that 2 of the characters had similar accents and I couldn't tell them apart, so that just really confused me. But yeah, I just felt it was anticlimactic. It wasn't as funny and it wasn't as action-packed as I expected it to be, but I'm still definitely going to read the second one because the second one in the Illuminae Files blew my mind. Gemini is like so good, so I'm hoping that the second one of this is going to blow my mind as well. And then the next one I read, Rebel of the Sands by Alwyn Hamilton. I read this with 2 girls on Instagram as a buddy read, Emily and Jess. We had a lot of fun. I rated this one 5 stars. Again, I did not expect to love this as much as I did. And everyone actually says that the second and third book just like get better. So I'm really excited to read the second one. We're actually reading that this month together. So I really cannot wait. I loved the main character. What's her name? Amani and Jin. I really, really enjoyed their relationship, and I just definitely was swooning over Jin. I just loved his character. I really enjoyed it. It was a little predictable. I did think that Jin was going to be the prince and he ended up being the prince's brother. Spoilers if you haven't read it. But I also felt that the ending was very quick. We had like 20 pages left and we were literally in the middle of the battle, and I was like, how is this going to be resolved in 20 pages? But it does get resolved in 20 pages, and I was still content with how it ended, so I can't say anything bad about it. I really enjoyed this one. And then the next one I have is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. I picked this one up because of Paperback and Flick Chick on YouTube. Read this one and raved about it, so I was like, I need to read it. So I read it. I read it in like 2 days, and this is like 400 and something pages. 512 pages this book is. So I absolutely blissed through it. I loved it so much. Basically, this is following an enemies to lovers story of a witch and a witch hunter who are forced to marry, and then they like fall in love with each other, and it was just like, it's one of the best enemies to lovers that I've like ever read. The other one, my other favorite, I also read this month, so that's coming. But yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the atmosphere, and I liked the world building and the magic system, and I found it so enthralling, and I just didn't want to put it down. So I rated this one 5 stars. I have to also mention that there are two 3-star books, and then the rest are 4 and 5 stars. So like, I had a fantastic month this month, and I just my heart is so happy. Alright, so the next one I read is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Guys, I love this book. I flipping love this book. It was so good. I also listened to this one on audiobook, which if you are interested in picking this one up, I definitely would say to go that way. That avenue is like the best one. It's a full cast. Their voices are very distinct. It is so hard for me to step out of this novel and think that it wasn't real life. The characters are so well fleshed out. The dynamics within the group are just like spot on. Everything is just so good. Even with Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, it just blew my mind. So I just loved this so much. And even the way that it's written is like, it's not a normal story. It's just like interview questions and responses and things like that. So it's just people's names. So I think that the audiobook is definitely the way to go for this one. But guys, I just love Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've only read 2 of her books so far, but they've honestly just blown me away. She's like, I've never read a book that has just completely blown me away and made me think that it's real life. I don't want to admit that this didn't actually happen, because it was just so bloody good. So yes, definitely pick this one up if you haven't already. And the next one I read has been getting so much buzz on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube, and that is Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. This one everyone has been talking about, and I am on board. I definitely think this one is worth the hype. I read this one, again, within like 2-3 days. I think it's still over 400 pages. Yeah, 420 pages. I loved it so much. So it's obviously about the Americans, the first son of the United States and the Prince of Wales, them being enemies to begin with, and then falling in love over, it was just, I could not gush enough to you guys about how good this one was. Definitely one of my favorite enemies to lovers. It's so realistic, it's so good. Even though it's a romance book and I'm not overly fond of them most of the time, especially when there's like intimate scenes, I tend to find that that's something that really makes me uncomfortable. But the way it was done in here was very much not explicit. I definitely enjoyed this one a lot. If you haven't read this one, why not? Because it is phenomenal. Please pick this one up. Alright, and the last 2 I have are part of a trilogy that I'm trying to get through. Obviously I'm not going to finish them this month, but I'll definitely finish them at the start of November. I read Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Finally, I feel like I'm the last person on earth to read this book. I do know that they're currently filming the TV show for Netflix, so I wanted to read the books before I watched the show, even though it's probably not going to come out for a while yet. But I really did like this one. I think I rated it 4 stars. It was definitely interesting, something that I didn't have any expectations going into it. I didn't even know anything about it, to be honest. But I'm currently reading the second one, Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. It is October 31st. So technically it's not the end of the month, and I have 60 pages left. So I'm putting this in because I'm definitely going to finish this tonight. I am liking this one more than the first one. I really do like the magic system. So I am really enjoying seeing Alina and Mal's relationship. I do think it's very realistic for the world that they're living in. It's not perfect. They have a lot of arguments. There's a lot of tension there, and I think that's good. It's not really glossed over, and it's not all like happy la da da that they're together and things like that. So I definitely do appreciate that side of it. I'm interested to see how the third book is going to go. I'm assuming that it's just going to be a fight, like a big fight between the Darkling and Alina. But yeah, I'm interested to see how this goes, and then I'm really excited to pick up Six of Crows because I also haven't read that, but I own it, so hopefully next month I'll pick it up. So those were all the books that I read for the month of October. I was about to say August. Please let me know in the comments below if you've read any of these, your thoughts on them, any recommendations for my next month. I would absolutely love. So if you liked this video, please feel free to like and subscribe. I'm trying to post regularly on Saturdays and Tuesdays, so make sure that you're around for those days when I post my new videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next video. Bye!